Your listing photos matter. Who takes them with what kind of gear has a significant impact on your listing. So don't cheap out. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris. I am the owner of Homes in 719 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And just sitting here in my home office today and pondering, photos and looking at different listings today. I thought I'd do a quick video on it for the sellers out there, and that your photos have a huge impact on your retail price of your home. And typically the listing agent will hire the photographer and will also make sure there's a good photographer, they got good equipment, and will cover all the costs. So they don't make that as an add-on. Some do, but most do not. I personally do not. I think that's part of my fee, is to cover whatever photos are necessary to properly advertise your home for sale, which is what you're hiring me to do, part of what you're hiring me to do. So I just want to show you some examples that I pulled down off the internet today. And full disclosure, these are not my photos. I did pull them off the internet, and I did try to pull in, the source of these photos so that you can see them, or if you want to look them up, at least the people that did the photos get the credit. So let me share my screen here real quick, and I'll kind of show you what the differences are here. Make this a little bit bigger, or try to. There we go. All right, so you should have a pretty good view here. And this is a series of photos. There's only 4 slides in this text, so don't get too worried. But you can see the top 2 photos here clearly have a huge difference in lighting, right? This is a standard photography photo that's taken. And this is a camera that's called an HDR camera. And not only that, it's the settings that you utilize. Your cell phone, I don't care how cool it is, how much money you paid for it, in most cases will take a photo a lot like this. Versus an HDR camera that will take a photo like this. Which one would you want representing your home for sale? Probably the one on the right. Next, you can see down here the bottom photo, same shot, 2 different settings, 2 different cameras. And this is a great example of professional photographers. When they take housing photos, they take 3 photos from each location, and the camera changes its setting between each shot. And then when they take them back to their house or their office, they overlay all 3 images and make them one image through photo editing. That's what a good photographer does. So you can see on the left here, the standard photo, you have a lot of light coming in from the outside. So the camera, not being a great camera, picks up on that and closes down the iris on the camera, making the inside of the room dark, while the outside is really bright and even overexposed to some degree. When a photographer takes 3 photos and overlays them, you get this kind of effect where you can clearly see the outside, but you can clearly see the inside with the right lighting, just like your eyes do. So that's another great example of, you take the photo of yourself with your cell phone, you're very much likely to get an image like this because you're going to take 1 photo. You're going to get, good clarity, good lighting on the inside with overexposed outside, or vice versa, where if you take 3 photos and overlay them, you get a shot like that. And that's what my photographer does to make sure that we get a clear picture, just like the human eye does. Next, here's another good example. I got the inside of a house here, very dark. You can see the lights are on, but it's still very dark, right? That's all camera setting. Additionally, the angle here is okay, but it's not great. It would be okay if you didn't know this angle was available when you took the photo, right? So a good photographer knows where to be in the room to get the right shot and convey the right message or image, right? And you can see here, even the color of the cabinet is different because the camera settings are better in this shot, right? And this photo projects much more information than this one. And you can see it's more of an open concept, which a lot of buyers like, but huge difference between the photos simply because the photographer knew where to stand and knew how to set up his camera. This one is a little bit overexposed right here. It'd be interesting to know. I'm guessing the blinds are kind of in a position there that's causing the outside to not be seen. This is a photo I would typically ask my photographer to reshoot because I want to see the outside. That's why they do the 3 shots, right? So you kind of know Is that a junkyard next door, a fast food joint? What's out that window? Mountain view, lake? What is it? You know, so a lot of times we like to have the blinds fully up and the curtains open so that you can we can get that information into the photo to help the buyer you know, look at the house. Remember, photography or photos for your home do a few things. One of them is convince people not to look at your house, not to schedule a showing, right? And I know that might sound weird though, but if we can put something in the photo that the buyer is turned off by and doesn't want to schedule a showing because they don't want that house, well, that's okay, because otherwise they're going to schedule a showing, come to the house, see exactly what should have been in the photo, and then not make an offer. So what did that do for you? That threw you out of your house for a couple hours, so that somebody who didn't need to come to your house came in your house and quickly determined it was the wrong house. So the photos need to convey not only the good things, but also the real situation, right? So that the people that come to your house have already really gotten as much information from the photos as possible to know that they want to schedule that showing, they want to interrupt your life and theirs to come in and look at your house and confirm it's as good as they thought it was in the photos. So keep that in mind too. Now, here's another great image comparison where two things occurred here, right? The photographer here clearly had better light settings in this photo versus this photo. You can see all the lights are on, but it's still really dark. But the camera settings kind of helped with that, right, in this photo. Additionally, by changing the angle from which he was standing, he or she was standing, you can see, oh, there's stairs over here, right? Oh, okay, those are probably the stairs that go upstairs. And you can kind of see into this little cubby maybe a little bit better too. And you still notice that, oh, it goes way down over here, which you really can't see in this photo. So by having the right angle, conveying more information, it conveys more about the space and helps the buyer decide, do I need to go see this house, to really help, right? And last but not least, in the photo examples, I still might have some comments here, but in the photo examples, you can see here where the photo was taken, it really conveys a lot. You've got a sink here, and then a sink behind it, you can see that, and then the tub, and this is probably maybe the water closet or the toilet room there, and then this is probably the entry door. But the photographer left the image of the camera in there, right? Good photographers can edit this out so that you don't see that and you get this behind it. Photo editing software will allow you to do that. Now, you do have to be really careful when you're doing any kind of editing to a photo, because you cannot manipulate the photo to show things that aren't there or remove things that are there that are material fact to the house, right? Oh, can you take out that wall, or can you know, make it so that the room looks bigger? You don't want to do that. In some cases, it's unethical. The realtor shouldn't allow it. And you could get sued for it, right? So, you know, but images here where we're going to take out the image of the camera so that the consumer gets to see the real image, that's perfectly acceptable. A lot of times photographers will try really hard not to get this in there at all, this tripod, so that they don't have to edit it. But sometimes it's necessary to get the right shot. And or they'll have to take multiple shots in the same room. I've seen them do that too. So, you know, having the right photographer to take your photos and give you 30 to 50 really good photos and determine what should be taken and what shouldn't be. You know, do you need aerial drone footage? Do you need aerial pictures? They can just do that. You know, a lot of that comes into play. And then there's always stuff with how clean should my house be? And I tell my sellers that for the photos, it needs to be pretty clean and very, very neat and organized. So, you know, when you think about like going to a furniture store or IKEA or something like that, where they've staged the furniture, that's how you want your house to look. You want to remove as many things as you can for the most part, but you still want to leave enough furniture so that the consumer can figure out how the room could be laid out, right? So you still might have a couch potentially. You still might have the entertainment center. You know, I think that's acceptable. Coffee table, a chair, but you don't want to have it overpopulated or overstuffed either. You don't want to have a bunch of knickknacks laying around. You surely don't want any trash laying around. You know, you want all the pillows puffed up. You want all the lights working. Oh, that's a good key. all the lights not only working, all the light bulbs being exactly the same type of light bulb. So what do I mean by that? There's different kinds of light bulbs that are white. You've probably seen them. So really, really white versus not so white versus kind of a yellow hue. All the lights need to be the same in every light fixture where possible. And definitely in each room, they need to be the same, because if they're not, that will show up in the photos. You will see a deviation between the coloring in the photo and in the light, and the buyer will see it and be like, that's weird, right? You don't want them at any point in the looking at your photos to go, that's weird, make that face, right? So you want to make sure that to maximize the photos to get the best ones possible, no clutter, everything kind of squared away, nice and tidy, everything organized, all the chairs pushed in, all the pillows popped, all the clutter kids' toys put away, the countertops as clean as possible. Yes, you can leave your coffee maker out there, maybe your mixer, but if you don't have a lot of counter space, you want to remove as much of that as possible. If you have a lot of counter space, you might leave a few things out. What else can I think of here? Typically you hide all the trash cans, and you put those away. You hide all the toilet brushes, you put those in the closets. The shower curtains, you open them unless it's like a really weird design, something goofy in the background, maybe like a Spider-Man big thing on the wall. We might do something with that, but typically I would tell you to take that artwork down so we can get a conventional picture of what the buyer's getting, not what you like. We also recommend that you take down all personal photos. So what does that mean? That means you take down the photos of you, your family, your dog, all that kind of stuff. You can leave up artwork, so things that are not personal and have people in them. And the reason for that is buyers don't want to feel like they're in your house. They want to feel like they're in their house. And anytime they see a photo of a family in there, they'll be like, oh, that's a nice family. And what's subconsciously in their head? This is not my house. So you take down all the photos of your family. You put those away. There's typically no photos of a garage, of inside the garage if you have a garage. So, if you're packing or moving or whatever, all that stuff can go in the garage and, in the boxes, and get that out for the photos. Surely get that outside. Let's see what else. The backyard and landscaping. If you can, top off the mulch and pull all the weeds and cut the grass for the photo, that's great. Definitely make sure everything's all trimmed up. We try to arrange that. A good agent will also schedule the photos to be at the right time of day, because where the sun is as it comes around the house, this is the house where the sun comes around the house, right? We want the best lighting on that front of the house. So we will try to schedule that so it's in the afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on the lighting, so that we get the front of that house lit exactly the way we want it. Where possible, we're going to try to do it on a day that's no clouds. Again, better lighting. Lighting is so key to that. We're also going to try to do it when it's not raining, not snowing. No snow on the ground if we can do that. If we have to do it with snow on the ground, it's going to be all snow, right? You're going to shovel the driveway and put in the porch and clean it all up, make it look all pretty. And we're going to do that photo then. And then I might even have my photographer come out later when it's all melted, because Colorado Springs, it melts quickly, typically. I might have him come back out and do a reshoot once all the snow is melted, so that we get a grass shot. That's usually what most buyers want to see. A sunny, no debris in the yard, dry, beautiful front shot. And I've even had some buyers give me, oh, I took these photos in the summertime. Great, bring me those, man. Those will work. If you got, flower photos or whatever, I'll add those as almost like character witness photos to your listing, so that we say, oh yeah, we got really good flowers that come up in the spring too. Or if you have a really good green grass front shot and it's taken with your cell phone, I'll look at it. I'll vet it. If I think it's good enough to be in the listing photos, I'll use it. But if I don't think it is, I won't. These photos represent not only your house, but my company. And I try to make sure that the photos are the best quality they can be. And it comes out of my pocket. So, why would you object to that? There are times where if I'm listing a distressed property, some of these rules I'm mentioning, they don't really play. But I will say this. I listed a house one time where the tenants moved out and all of the debris was throughout the house. I mean, this thing was trashed. trash. There was trash everywhere. The garage was 2 foot deep in everything you can think of. And when we originally listed it for sale, I said, let's just see what happens. I'm going to list it just the way it is. I took cell phone photos of it, with a pretty good cell phone camera. And it was kind of a test to see too what the difference would be, as well as, can we sell it for the price that he wanted with these photos, kind of thing. And we were getting some offers in, and they weren't acceptable. They're way too low, right? So I told this out of town seller that I would go through. I brought in a roll off, which is a huge dumpster. And I'm thinking, think school bus size. It's really huge. And because he was out of town, I decided I would do it for him. I went through the whole house and cleaned it out of all the junk, the debris, the garage. We emptied it into the roll off. I did charge him for the roll off to get his trash out of his house, but we did all that. They had a hot tub in the backyard that was on the back deck that was broken, so I cut that up. We got rid of that. And then I had a photographer come through and retake the photos. Right. Well, I had the bushes in the front yard trimmed. I had the front yard raked out, all the weeds whacked down, everything edged, and then I had my photographer take the photos. The next series of photos or offers that we got after that were $30,000 to $35,000 higher than they were before that. And keep in mind, this house was not perfect after I cleaned it out. We still had a big hole in the carpet. I mean, like 2 feet around and stuff like that. But all of the trash was out, and all of the bushes were cut, and the grass was terrible, but it would look neat. So, think about that when you're getting close to listing your house and talking with an agent, that you do want to spend the time and money to get your house tidy and clean for the photos. It doesn't have to be super clean yet. Super clean is when the showings start. That's when you want it super clean, and especially when the inspection happens. The inspection, the buyer is going to be in your house for a long period of time, and they're going to be poking around, looking at everything. So that's when you really, really, really want it clean. And, I almost recommend that you have a house cleaner clean it for you before the showings. And I have a house cleaner and a window cleaning guy that will come by and do it for a really reasonable price, kind of tune everything up for you and make it look pretty, because, yep, clean windows matter, and nobody likes cleaning windows when they're moving. I hate to tell you, but nobody, not a single seller I've known, says, I'm moving out of this house, and what I want to do is spend my time cleaning the windows. My guy comes in for a few $100, cleans all the windows, the window tracks, the screens, puts them all back, look perfect. And they will be way cleaner than yours. And the buyer, when they move into it, won't complain about it. So anyway, I hope you found some value in this video. I have a lot more to choose from here on the YouTube channel. If you choose to look at it, they're broken up into sellers and buyers and elevations of buyers and sellers as far as, how in-depth we get. And but if I don't have a video you want, let me know. Shoot me a message, and I'll see if I can create it and put it out there for everyone to enjoy and learn from. So thanks for watching. If you need any help with your real estate, homesin719.com. I'd be happy to talk to you and see what I can do to help you out with your goals. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.